What is up, peeps? Welcome back to more CS news, guys. Blast Bounty officially underway, and yes, we got to see so many debuts of all of these brand new rosters. Who has the best showing so far? Who is the most shaky so far? Blast Bounty does continue. At the point of me recording, we are 1 day away from a big old matchup, that being Na'Vi versus the top women's team out there, Imperial Female. We'll be sure to break that down in the future, but we also saw some big debuts of some other new rosters, one being NiKo, as of course he is now debuted with Falcons and their brand new roster, and I would say a bit of a shaky start as they face off against NiKo, but they get the job done in back-to-back overtime wins. They take that best of 3 versus NiKo, and it wasn't NiKo who showed out, although he did have a good series. It was TeSeS, all right? TeSeS both maps, especially the back half of map 2. This guy was nuts and arguably saved the series for Team Falcons.
They're willing to write it off, and understandably, they want to fixate in on this bomb site, so B is the intended target.
Oh, what?
TeSeS deletes him with 1 shot, but Nechu was the anchor back in regulation that maintained this site, and Glave's going to try to set him up. They're going to go, hard to the clear.
You can't trick TeSeS.
Triple kill from TeSeS, plus the bomb plant to boot. Low health on Kaspersky coming through the window is no option. That Molotov denies him the chance when he has such little health, so they'll boost the op instead. And if they finagle an opening kill and a 2v3 retake, what could have been?
That would have been it.
But he jumps the gun, misses the shot, and now Falcons are here to secure their 14th. We are tied up yet again.
That would have been their 1 shot. Oh my goodness. Glaive does his best job in trying to create a bait situation, of course. It would have been maybe more convincing if it was Nechu, the one to peek first, instead of him going in front of him. But still, unbelievably surprising. TeSeS could just instantly go from him to the player he was baiting for. No second thoughts whatsoever. Unreal first entry as well, as if he was opping with the crouch peek.
Am I mistaken, or was that a full spray for the 2nd and 3rd on car? Did he ever stop shooting?
I don't even know. Didn't even see.
He never stopped shooting.
That's crazy.
And you can say a shaky start from any teams out there. I don't think many people are going to take too much away from this tournament, as things have yet to develop and these lineups have to practice it out. And again, it's a bounty tournament. It's a very fun format, but I don't think teams are going to have this be the one end all be all, especially because you're out. You know, you lose and you're out kind of vibes. But you can't deny this is better news than Falcons has had for like so many months now. We've had disappointment after disappointment, the missed major run after Simple comes in, and now we've had some positive news with a new lineup and NiKo debuting, and they get the win. That is all that mattered at the end of the day, because if Falcons were to lose this matchup, you know the reverse would be much more harsh than the positivity coming from this victory. So NiKo gets it done, a double overtime victory, and TeSeS, I mean, I can't say it enough. He had a slow start to map 2, but the back of that second map, that dude is looking insane. And speaking of some insane numbers out there that may or may not surprise you, ZywOo also showing up, as we have Vitality and Ropz debuting for this roster against Metasport. This was a shaky series, as in map 1, they had a dominant, I think, 10-2, 10-3 lead. They lacked a lot on their T side, as Metasport almost came back, but they still won map 1, 13-11. So again, winning is all that matters. And map 2, again, extremely close for these guys. But hey, everyone's kind of easing into the process. We're easing into the season. And regardless of whatever the map scoreline goes, they still do win this series. And in this close, you had Ropz and ZywOo. Ropz actually had back-to-back clutches at one point. I think in the first half to end it, he had back-to-back clutches. That was great to see.
And if they try to get through this doorway, you think ZywOo lights them up, but it's only the 1 frag. They've lost track of Ropz. He's going to come in behind them. Oh, playing time. Oh, Ropz, yes! Peeks deep, gets his second, and clutches 1 up for Vitality.
Man, you just know when someone's staring at you. Ropz sitting there. This is awkward. Are they going to watch this?
Yeah,
they are coming
Apex,
back. Okay.
Wary of it. Good call, but it's still weird on the smoke. He gets the better of it. All good by Apex. Good presence of mind.
And so, Ropz could have died right there, but instead he catches a great timing. ZywOo, great shot back on Lumi.
A-site falling apart, dude. Ropz finds his timing. It really felt like, I don't blame Metasport for thinking that they just had a good advantage.
Definitely.
And in reality, Vitality have 3 separate players all ready to rock heads off shoulders, 4 players dead.
Some good comms there. I mean, with the timing of Ropz coming out lower, they might have been like, probably not top mid, but... Damn! Oh, that was the shot. Oh, that one too. My God.
And then you had ZywOo by the end of this ending up with a 30 bomb. So all is well in Vitality camp, and kind of shouts to Plopsky and the Metasport guys. They played a very close series, so we'll wait to see how they do as well. They almost stole one of the biggest bounties of the day, and so far at the point of me recording, no upsets. There have been some close series, some close back and forth. I would have made so much money just by betting the favorites. It's crazy. Not really any big upsets unless I missed some so far throughout Blast Bounty, which is, you know, it's okay to see who's going to be the first. But more into the CS news side of things, we do have a little bit of a Twistzz versus Cadian, a little bit of a bunch up here. I'm sure it's not that serious, and these are two, again, I know you guys know I have a lot of favorite players out there. I'm a big Cadian fan. You guys should know that. And of course, as a North American and American fanboy, I'm also a fan of Twistzz. We'll see if Strauss and Liquid eventually have a matchup where this can actually come into play, but it was Twistzz back in, I think, July, talking about the leave of Cadian from that Liquid roster, of course, now the Strauss, and that apparently was brought back up in a recent interview involving Cadian, where he's like, yo, Twistzz, sometimes people who say these things, they have trouble looking in the mirror, so let me explain this one. As this was back in July of last year, where Twistzz had said there was a lack of work ethic when he was talking about Cadian, saying there was a lack of work ethic to begin in the team. Twistzz began, it was just not working inside or outside the game. There was no chemistry or synergy, and you can't really play the game without those two things. There is not that much to say about the first season of 2024. I'm just looking forward to this rebuild. To which Cadian has now also responded months later, saying, I think those who are the quickest to come out and comment on these matters might also be the ones who have a hard time looking at themselves in the mirror regarding how they tried to solve the challenges within the project. I feel there are a lot of things happening within a team. There are many dynamics and small things that you can never truly go into detail about publicly, but I don't want to throw stones at anyone, Cadian said. He continued, it's clear that some players have a specific perspective, the team has another, and I may have an entirely different view of how everything unfolded. During my time in Liquid, there were players who needed everything to be completely systematized, with everything written down to the smallest detail. That's not the way I enjoy playing Counter-Strike. So two very different perspectives on what went wrong in Team Liquid, but if you look at the results-wise, I mean, clearly something was just not working out. So Twistzz apparently pinpointing that on maybe Cadian inside and outside the game, or whatever that work ethic comment was. And Cadian saying, hey, I'm not going to throw stones. Maybe he had a different perspective and a different viewpoint than I did on how things really went wrong, but I'm not going to say anything more, which is really commendable. And of course, that's why I like someone like Cadian. But, you know, if you're someone like Twistzz, you're often going to be questioned on why these rosters did not work out. And that's how he saw things. So maybe pointing a bit of blame, or at least talking about Cadian in that way, is going to ruffle some feathers. And so we'll see once Astralis and Liquid eventually face off during this season. It would not be put past me to have Cadian face off against Twistzz, and whether it's a blast event or something else where they can see, or the players are either, you know, next to each other or in front of each other, and Cadian could be a yeller. And it would not surprise me if Astralis somehow manages to take down Liquid, if we hear him yell some things. And maybe we'll dive back if that is the case. But of course, nothing but the best of luck to Twistzz and Cadian. We'll see how both of their future projects actually do go. And speaking of new projects, as of late, it was Ropz talking about his debut in Vitality and how he chose to go to Vitality and leave FaZe. It was actually throughout this HLTV interview, he was like, yo, it was a very, very tough decision to make, because I love FaZe, I love the organization, we've experienced everything together, we have won, we have lost, we have won major trophies together, and of course accomplished so many things, but also gone through the pitfalls of, you know, the ups and downs of running a Counter-Strike team. And so for him to eventually make this leap in his career, he was like, this is the best time to do so. My contract was running out with FaZe. If there is any time to make this leap for my own self, it was now. And it was a great interview by HLTV and some good in-depth answers from Ropz. And the headline which was focused on is he was saying, hey, I felt the same way I did when I came into that FaZe roster. When I saw that FaZe roster, I knew we could win anything. I knew we could win a lot of things, and he feels the same way about Vitality. And it is hard to look at this Vitality roster on paper and not agree and line up with his way of thinking. And so that is what Ropz had to say about his debut and, of course, joining a Vitality and his leaving a FaZe, just to reassure people. And I knew we knew this, but even over Christmas break, as he was trolling and his contract was coming to a close with FaZe, it was a very difficult decision, and we'll see if it was the right one. And very lastly, some news out there that I think is the right decision. The complete overhaul of the new NIP is officially here. And this is a roster that I am super excited for. If you guys don't know, the one mainstay of this roster is the young up-and-comer. A lot of people touting him as a player who could be one of the best in the future. That being young up-and-comer known as Wrinkle. He'll be retained on the NIP roster. He'll be the one guy to actually stay. And he'll be joined by a couple of Saw peeps, that being Arados and Ujerks, will now be joining the roster, as they were kind of sprinkled into rumors to other rosters out there, but NIP have now landed that duo, and it will be Shush and Snappy to also join this roster from Heroic and Falcons correspondingly. And this is a great roster. I mean, am I wrong? Am I dumb? Yes, but this is actually a really good looking NIP roster compared to what they've had for how many years now? I mean, you got the young up and coming firepower and talent. You have some old guard there and some experience, and of course an IGL like Snappy. And if you give him the test of time in a brand new jersey, I kind of like this project, and we'll see exactly how they do unfold. But this is actually for the first time in a long time where Ninjas in Pajamas have announced a counterstrike lineup that I think there's going to be a lot more eyes on. And we're set to see, I believe, their debut against freaking Amcall. If you guys don't know, they're historically known for really long and boring matchups, so that's great. Maybe they'll make a quick close of that. And if they can finish out Amcall, this is an NIP roster who can do some damage, trust me. But until next time, I hope you guys all enjoy. I just want to let you guys know towards the end of the video, news might be a little slow these next few days. Unfortunately, had a family member pass away. Just found that out. So I will be probably traveling home this weekend, just so you guys know. So just hug your loved ones. Keep the ones you love really close. I'll be trying to break the news as fast as I can, but that will be the reason for the delay. And I'll be back by Monday to catch up on everything. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you back here next time.